Okay. Me too.
Okay, both players kept 7. Sean will start us off with a Tundra. Force to fill cracks a flooded strand. Oh boy. You can almost feel the control. Both players have control over everything right now. Is it control or is it prison, chat?
Sure.
Oh, it's a blue deck, so it's control, right?
I'll keep on.
Control isn't viable. All right, there's a ponder resolving. Half the show, if you're new around here, half the show is just making fun of things Magic players say that usually borderline make no sense. Wasteland. Okay, wasn't expecting that. Tundra gets blown up. Another flooded strand for Force of Fill.
And then up. Basically, yes. So name a card before you reveal, and then you reveal, and then you discard all copies of the card.
18, sorry.
That was an Odawara dropped onto the board for Sean. Force of Fill looks for a Tundra. Richard Pizza says, I see a classy person here with white border wastelands. There's going to be some interesting things coming in on both sides as far as cards being altered and that kind of stuff. So keep an eye out. I don't know if the people of the chat and the people of the YouTube comments are ready for what they're about to witness in this match.
Floating red.
Raise your hand if you're ready.
So I was like, oh, let me go look at Go.
Setting up cameras for this round at the LGS, I saw Phil was playing Sean, and I said, I don't know if these people are going to be ready for this one. Here's a brainstorm.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're going to watch this match, and then we're going to have to end the stream. I don't think anybody's going to be able to recover after this one. All right, brainstorm, then nothing else. Not looking good for Sean, I guess. Predict.
Yeah.
It gets Spell Pierce. Okay. What year is it? Plane Cycling, Timeless Dragon. I still can't believe they brought back the plane cycling mechanic. Island cycling, swamp cycling, we can understand. And they brought back Eternalize. Oh boy.
And the other parts like that.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to cycle Lord Revealed.
Yeah, Island cycling, Lorien revealed. Island cycling makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Russian Pizza wondering if they could bring back Planeswalkers, but you have to pay attention to the way it's spelled to get the joke. Mr. Varga is here.
That's going to be discarded.
I mean, bring back Land Walk. Come on.
Yeah. Sacrificing this means I discard my card. This is getting discarded.
I'm sorry.
Okay, counterbalance for Force of Fill. It's getting Spell Pierced.
But you have no cards in here.
That was
No.
Standstill. That resolves. Standstill, everybody.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's good. Cycle Lord Revealed.
casting Echo still count for.
Yeah. Wait, that mean?
We both shuffle up Brave and Library and draw something.
I'm just going to trigger.
Yes.
Mystic Sanctuary for Phil. What are we looking for? Brainstorm goes back on top.
Oh, like
Hopefully get a good one because I can't.
Okay, nothing for Sean here. Sean maybe was hoping to eternalize that Timeless Dragon. That didn't happen.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, found the land, still didn't eternalize.
I'm sorry, do you have dice? I messed up.
Oh, good.
Phil casts Deploy on end step. That'll trigger the Standstill. And Phil looking to make 2 Thopters and gain 2 life, potentially.
Pass? Sure.
You have 10 cards in hand now?
He's not.
So Phil resolved the Deploy, 2 Thopters.
So I gain 2 off the effect, and then I'll get another.
Yeah. Minus 0.
21. Is that right? Yeah.
Swords on the second Thopter.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm at 17, and you get.
Brainstorm for Phil now. Force of Phil. Broke that Standstill basically immediately with Deploy. Now both players have no non-land permanents. Here's Merchant Scroll. Interesting.
That was a very good draw.
Recently altered Merchant Scroll by one of our local friends, Andrea. That is Brain Surge found by Force of Phil.
That, I'll cast Force of Will, exiling base.
Response.
Okay, that's fine. So I lose a life, but then I gain a life.
Mystic Sanctuary. Looks like Predict will be going back on top. Pass the turn back to Sean. Other than Timeless Dragon, I'm very curious what the win cons are for Sean in this deck. Wasteland on Tundra. It's blown up.
I'm going to use the way I'm going to attempt Predict to target myself.
Cards in hand?
Sure. And then this.
No. 19.
Here's Tefari, the Time Raveler.
Cards. 6.
It could be quite disruptive here. It's likely Phil will have to deal with this. Teferi will minus draw a card. It resolved.
Can I borrow a die? Yeah. Sorry. Sure. Came on prepared.
Cast Bridge.
Yeah.
Okay, now a Brainstorm for Phil. A die was borrowed. Very nice. See, you know, like people at the LGS just lending out dice. It's all one big happy family. Everybody's so nice.
Predict target myself. Source postures.
I would have said no, to be honest. Bring your own frickin' dice. All right, a ponder for Phil. We're drawing cards. We're looking at cards. It's all exciting.
Non-creature, right? Non-creature, non-land.
What about the play pattern of brainstorms and ponders and just like doing nothing? What about that play pattern? Mystic Sanctuary.
And then I'll pass it.
Merchant Scroll.
Merchant Scroll goes back on top.
Your lightning bolt.
Sometimes I'm honestly not even sure if I'm trolling or if I'm being for real. Like, I don't even know what I'm thinking. Monka, thank you for the resub. 58 months for Monka. That's a long time, Monka T.
6. And then you can go to your draw.
Teferi ticks up to 2. Teferi. Oh, boy. Another Tundra for Sean. Another Standstill for Sean. Tefari is on the battlefield, so can't react. Merchant Scroll gets drawn. Let's see if Phil cracks this thing immediately. It looks like that's potentially going to be the plan here. Lorien revealed gets island cycled. Volcanic Island is found. Are we about to see a prismatic ending?
Let's cast Prismatic Ending targeting.
Okay, now Sean draws a bunch of cards. Standstill is cracked. Teferi has been the target of prismatic ending. Looks like Sean's thinking about responding to that. Magic adds, thank you for the gift sub. 102 now on the channel. Force pitching. Ooh, I didn't see what that other card was, but it looks like prismatic ending is countered. Teferi successfully protected this time. One attempt at Teferi is a failure. Teferi takes up to 3. Still on the board.
Standstill. Force of will.
Wasteland on Tundra, alright. I don't know if Phil has another white mana available. It's possible it might have been better to go after Volk. Yeah, Phil had the basic planes.
I'm going to show you.
Counterbalance.
Okay.
Counterbalance kind of gets around to Teferi because it is a triggered ability. So things could get interesting here.
Cast the talent.
I'm gonna down tick. Sure. Brainstorm response.
Blue land on Sean's side is Otawara, in case anybody missed that. Prismatic ending number 2 on Teferi. Another attempt. Teferi really is problematic. Yeah, Audrey wondering if Phil put a 2 on top or a 5 on top. All right, Teferi is defeated. Phil passes the turn. That was a big card off the board. Teferi Time Raveler in the control mirrors gives one player a significant advantage, as most of you know. Another Teferi. Phil is going to thwart that.
It's counter target spell. As an all cast, I can pick up 3 islands.
Double Mystic Sanctuary and Volk, I believe, will return to hand to pay the alternate cost of thwart. Sean thinking about what to do with this thwart. Looks like Teferi has gone to the trash. Thwart resolves. Okay, Volcanic Island, Prismatic Ending, maybe paying an extra to avoid counterbalance. Counterbalance is exiled. Merchant Scroll once again. Is Merchant Scroll the best card from Homelands? Brainstorm. What's the best card from Homelands, chat?
Prismatic ending on it.
Here's a brainstorm. I believe I still have life totals right. Have I missed anything? Oh, actually, Sean might be at 19. There was a force. It's so hard to keep track when they don't have the phone, but the pen is kind of blocking the pad in the top right. Sorry about that, folks. Volcanic Island.
Yeah. Plus 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now eternalizing the Timeless Dragon. Does Sean have the token? Probably not going to be around for long. That is a Terminus off the top. I wanted to see the token. Weed Williams says this match is too aggressive. Yeah, these decks are very aggro.
Brainstorm.
Brainstorm on top of this.
Sorry?
So I'm going to target Tamio and then try and...
Mystic Sanctuary put Brainstorm back on top. Counterbalance once again. Counterspell.
Tamio.
Counterbalance. Counterspell. Blue Delta gets correct.
Yes.
And pass it first.
Both players using quite a bit of throwback cards here. Merchant Scroll, Thwart, Counterspell. Mystic Sanctuary now for Sean. What does Sean want?
I will keep swap.
Both times Sean dropped a standstill, Phil cracked it immediately. I think at this point, though, Phil's still ahead on cards.
Put the brainstorm on top.
Chroma?
Okay, Brainstorm tapping the correct land. Sean very proper here.
It is online.
And I'm gonna...
Fuzzy, thank you for the sub.
Bolt.
Okay. So you lose a draw card?
Lose one draw card.
Yep. 14.
I'm gonna play land.
Put Thwart on top.
Okay.
Mystic Sanctuary, Phil saying Thwart's going back on top. There it goes. Once Thwart goes back on top of the library in a control versus control game, Phil kind of has a huge advantage. And the game may be slipping away from Sean here. Merchant Scroll now. Finds Force of Will this time.
I'll pass it.
Audrey's saying the camera doesn't show it, but Phil is smiling all through the match. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot to be smiling about when your Thwart is going back on top of the deck and stuff like that. Whoa! It looked like Sean's head was going to bump the camera for a second there. Okay, here's a brainstorm for Sean. Looking at some cards, drawing some cards. What's the split card in Phil's graveyard? Is there a split card in there? I don't know which split card you're referring to. Is there an obvious one I'm forgetting? Here's the Brain Surge.
Am I gonna break too? I hope so for my sake. Yep.
I'm gonna move to blocks.
That's not a break. That's all I block here.
Those are my blocks.
Oh, the Depose. Yeah. It's Depose. Depose deploy. Thank you, Audrey. I forgot about that one. That is a split card.
These cards are in the void. Yeah. So it's not under.
All right, another Merchant Scroll for Phil. How many Merchant Scrolls are in the deck?
I mean, it's just very powerful. But I don't know, it's something like, I'd rather play something completely powerful.
Okay, this time it will be Predict. Predict goes to hand.
Okay, fine. So
I'm gonna cast Tefari.
Three drop.
Three drop Tefari.
thank you.
Cracking some fetches. Sean will draw.
I will attempt to bounce your attack.
Curtis.
I'm gonna uptick Tefari.
Mystic Sanctuary for Phil.
Because it has to be a play before this.
Depose, deploy, comes back to hand now.
Very jealous.
No, so because the void walk goes on play, anything goes to your graveyard now.
Yeah, that's just hard.
Sorry, can I ask you what you have life totals at?
16 me, 22 you.
You got my fetch there?
No, 21.
Yeah.
All right, Phil's getting life totals for us. Appreciate that, Phil. Okay, making an attempt at Lorien revealed. I think Phil's going to have an answer for that. Let's see.
One of any color.
5 cards in Sean's hand. Phil answers with deploy.
That's a 2/1/1.
Yeah.
Bowmaster's good.
Okay, Phil will make 2 1/1 Thopters. Gain 2 life. I think the life gain is getting forgotten here. All right, cards are getting drawn by Sean from Lorien revealed. Okay, Phil chose not to interact with Lorien revealed, allowed the 2 cards to be drawn. The card draw didn't seem to matter to Phil, I guess. Phil feels ahead on cards. It makes sense.
The casting requirements is that you could do.
Yeah, do it with
So the last one actually here.
I mean, you can build it to beat it.
Okay, I'm not sure life totals are correct, but players have themselves at 24 and 14.
Predict trigger myself. Source blast.
Yeah, I was kind of trying to sidestep it.
Okay, predict. Need Swords of Plowshares, gets dumped into the graveyard. Don't need that right now. Attack with the Thopter. Sean drops a 13. This is still game 1. Audrey wondering if it's turn 0 yet.
Move to discount.
Discards a swords, not going to be needing that. Jason, thank you for the sub with Prime, 6 months.
I keep move to damage. I'm gonna take.
Yeah, Phil's graveyard quite full of stuff right now.
I'll move to discount.
Okay, discarded a Merchant Scroll that time.
Red was so good.
Yes.
I will take
Okay, a brainstorm happening now for Sean. Other than Timeless Dragon, I don't believe we've seen any threats from Sean. Things that could attack Phil's life total. Sometimes in Standstill decks, you'll see stuff like, I don't know, Mishra's Factory or something. Shark Typhoons getting cycled. Things that get around Standstill. Timeless Dragon, of course, one of them.
triggers. You're gonna have trigger.
Phil has somewhat of a board advantage with a 1/1 flyer.
Hit it for 2, and then you for 5, and you get 7 triggers.
Okay, Standstill on the stack.
Four. These guys
I'm going to cryptic command to counter and bounce on Mystic Sanctuary.
plus one. They're monstrously large.
Cryptic command. Counter, bounce, Mystic Sanctuary, counter spell in response. Phil's gonna force pitching Piracy Charm.
Okay. You and I both have to deal with Bowmaster somehow. I have 4 left after that.
When unmasked, target you, exile, Tendrils of Action.
This is Thoughtseize.
Yeah, with the light. Up to 4.
Hard cast Force from Sean, tapping 5 lands for that one. Quite a fight over this Cryptic command, which is trying to counter Standstill.
So then the storm count is 5. Actually, it doesn't matter. My storm count is my storm killer is 20. So that's right?
Your force on my force resolves. I'm going to pick up the 3 Mystic Sanctuaries that the Cryptic isn't targeting. I'm going to target.
Okay, thwart targeting Standstill, returning 3 Mystic Sanctuaries to hand.
It feels so good. It feels so sexy playing. It feels so good when black was a shitty color. And now black's one of the best colors.
Force of Will, pitching Lorien revealed. We're fighting here. Phil with another Force of Will. Pitching Lorien revealed.
Hold on. What happened?
So this falls off.
Yep.
This falls off.
Standstill.
This will counter this, so my Mystic Sanctuary will stay on the board.
Time to cast that.
Okay, Mystic Sanctuary stays on the board. Cryptic Command was countered, but Standstill was also countered. Force of Will, I guess, wins the counter war. The only non-land permanent is still a 1/1 Thopter on Phil's side. Phil moving a bunch of stuff around the graveyard quite large. Underneath the phone is his exile zone. Mystic Sanctuary. Alright, Thwart goes right back on top. Cryptic Command, folks. Adam, thank you for the resub with Prime 21 months. Appreciate that. Ooh, here we go. Jace the Mind Sculptor. Phil used a lot of resources to counter that Standstill last turn. Phil has a force. Spell Pierce. Jace is in. Brainstorm. Wow.
Well, actually, that's not like.
This is still game 1, folks.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I won like
Wasteland is left.
matchup, gear matches.
Lorien reveal. Draw 3.
And what was it?
Did Sean jump ahead here? Attacking Jace. Jace drops his 2 loyalty. Mystic Sanctuary. It's hard to say right now. Who's ahead in this game? Okay, depose, deploy, back on top of the library. Okay, Jace ticks up, puts the depose, deploy on the bottom. Good play there by Sean. Jace now at 4 loyalty. Timeless Dragon getting hard cast. It's a 5/5. Okay, so Timeless Dragon gets exiled. It is a 5/5 when it is, the printed card and not the token. Jace the Mind Sculptor gets 1 loyalty taken away. Ooh, what's this one? What card is that Phil just cast? Oh, it's the one that like chooses 3 cards in the graveyard, and then like your opponent. Oh, what does this do again? Oh. What card is that, chat? Okay, so selected is counterbalance, counterbalance, merchant scroll.
I'm going to target these 4.
And Tundra. They get shuffled into the library. The name of this card is just not coming to mind. Thank you. Yes, it is Witness the Future. Thank you. On the Wind. Perfect. That is the one. I just could not think of the name. Yeah, you choose 4 cards from your graveyard, shuffle them in. Nothing to do with your opponent. I thought your opponent checks something for chooses something for a second, but you just then kind of impulse. All right, so Jace the Mind Sculptor looks at the top card of Phil's deck, going up to 5 loyalty now. Okay, Phil fetches now. Both libraries looking pretty thin. You just deploy. Making some Thopters. There they are.
So just feel like, all right, this is going to get destroyed anyway.
Crush, thank you for the resub 3 months. Counterbalance. Jace is at 5 loyalty. The tokens on Phil's side. The Yu-Gi-Oh cards are 1/1 flying artifact Thopters. Snapcaster Mage, okay. 5 cards in Sean's hand. Response to Snapcaster, we're casting Thwart. Mystic Sanctuary now for Phil. Thwart right back on top of the deck. 3 Thopters at Jace. Jace drops to 2. Depose Deploy still in the graveyard. Counterbalance on the board now for Phil. Jace might be in trouble. Gonna put Thwart on the bottom.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, trying another Timeless Dragon. Hardcast. Merchant Scroll revealed on top. Timeless Dragon will resolve. Merchant Scroll gets drawn for turn.
I think second Tefari deck is insane. You could just beat Pyroblast so much easier.
Thwart is selected, placed into hand by Merchant Scroll. Mystic Sanctuary.
Go for LED.
I'll try to counter it.
I have like
I cast Bowmaster, you cast Force of Will, I cast LED, Focus 3.
how many days is this?
Cast Echo,
I'm on one.
Cryptic Command goes back on top. Okay. 3 Thopters attack Jace. One of them will die in combat, blocked by the Timeless Dragon.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
We'll try and bounce these two.
It's just like a really good minding process of playing how I play.
Prismatic Ending, targeting Counterbalance. That will resolve. Counterbalance will go into exile. Filled with 2 exile piles. Oh no, one exile pile. Okay. Jace goes on the bottom. Jace puts Cryptic Command on the bottom, I meant to say. Now Phil looking through the graveyard with Mystic Sanctuary again. We've seen these Mystic Sanctuaries recycled quite a bit. Thinking about Witness the Future. Thinking about Depose Deploy. It'll be Witness the Future on top. Okay. Yeah, Dr. Wooms in the chat pointing out that Phil will be able to eventually recycle the deck quite a bit with Mystic Sanctuaries, Witness the Future, Thwart, etc. Yeah. Jace ticks up to 6. Jace is nicely protected by this Timeless Dragon now. Mystic Sanctuary for Phil. Thinking about Depose Deploy. Merchant Scroll, maybe? Has to beat this Jace. We have not yet seen Entreat the Angels. Merchant Scroll, I don't know that it's in the deck. Merchant Scroll on top. Counterbalance resolves. Jace will likely be thinking about moving that Merchant Scroll, but we'll see.
Put it on top.
Yeah, the Merchant Scroll was just placed on top. Jace is going to go up to 8 loyalty, targeting Force of Fill, move the Merchant Scroll to the bottom. Land drop made, pass the turn. Jace up to 8 loyalty. One of the Thopters will die in combat. Jace drops to 7 loyalty. Jace up to 9.
Try to counter.
Looks like Sean was happy with whatever was on top. Prismatic Ending gets drawn. Looks like 3 cards in Sean's graveyard.
I can deterministically not deck.
That's my only issue.
Sure. Because I can cast spells into my own Thwart to pick up this, so I always have something to draw as long as I have access to at least a Mystic Sanctuary and a Thwart.
Cast one spell, Thwart it, picture up.
So as long as I have access to 2 of these plus a Thwart and any spell, if they come into play untapped.
Can I ult before you?
What's up?
Can I ult before you?
You can ult, but I can never deck.
I want to make room for blue glass.
Like this, like I'll draw. These things will become. This is in my hand. This is on the board.
Yeah.
So like even if my hand becomes my library, I can always cast my spells into my own stuff.
It doesn't have to, but when it does, I'm like, I just auto want to that
Also, how would you play it? This is my kind of magic.
They're all exiled.
We're not going to have a game 2 anyway. I think you're going to win this anyway.
Players discussing the situation. Phil's saying no matter what, I can't deck because of the Mystic Sanctuary Thwart situation. Jace the Mind Sculptor's ultimate, not a threat to Phil. Phil pointing out.
Yeah.
I believe you can win. I see the writing on the wall. So this is good content.
It's super fun.
Okay. I think we're in my turn. I bottomed. I counted. So pass turn to you.
Sure. Let's take one.
I guess I would have to hold myself.
So Sean only has 3 cards left in the library, which sparked the discussion here. Sean trying to figure out, is there any way I win this? Phil pointing out it's unlikely. Sean agrees.
Pass turn.
Yep.
2 cards left in the library for Sean.
Incidentally, the Witness of the Future that you've seen also makes it so I can't deck, but that can be fought over.
That's the one I put on the bottom.
Yeah. Witness of the Future can be fought over, but because the thwart by it as an alt cost puts the Mystic Sanctuaries back in the hand, right. Even if it's fought over, the Sanctuaries are still occurring.
Thwart might be the MVP of this match. To call it a match is kind of funny. It's only been 1 game.
Because an irrelevant factor.
I think if I had more cards, I could beat you out if I could. I don't have the cards, so it's a moot point.
Oh, to like go into combat?
Yeah, because I could keep casting.
Yeah, I know I have 1 source of Flash still left in my deck.
Is it possible that if Sean had thought about the possibility of thwart, that Sean should just have been attacking? Unclear.
Got it. So like you would know that you would have to fight over that sword. But yeah, you're in for it. Cheers.
That is the match. Force of Phil gets it. Sean concedes. Wow. The best format, everybody. GG's. Well played.